Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To follow up on the state weatherman, at what point was he hired?
At what point?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what was the exact date here.
I'm going to say probably April.
March, April timeframe. We can get that exact date for you, so I just don't know off the top of my head.
And that was prior to the hiring freeze, correct?
Yes, sir, it was.
Yes. So he was actually hired not during the impasse, correct?
That's correct.
But it was reported during the impasse that he was
Yes.
hired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a very helpful time frame because that I don't think was reported in the news. Okay. I want to pull up your Act 146 waivers. You had applied for about $3 million from local municipality emergency relief fund, a total of $3 million. So there was a September 4th or an August 12th waiver request for $2 million, a September 4th request for $1 million, and then a September 14th request for $3 million. The total was $3 million, correct?
And just to go back, and we're looking at the 15 time frame. It was $2 million that was in that particular budget specifically for that non-federally declared disaster portion. The other $1 million, I think, was associated with, and I'll turn him to director here on that.
It was a project that I believe was in Marcus Hook area that was not, never went through.
All right. All those dollars, were they hangover to go to local municipality payments between the waiver request for fiscal year 2014? Those were hangover dollars that weren't appropriated in 14?
Okay, I'm not sure exactly what the hangover dollar question is.
So a lot of these waivers are for contracts. Contracts that were executed in 2014. They weren't fully executed, so they moved them to the 15 year.
What exactly is that? So we didn't have any applications for that fund in the previous year. Okay. So that money was taken over. Then we actually had the disaster in the summer that primarily the Delaware County and the 5 counties in the southeast had severe storm damages. We went ahead and initiated, just like we would for a FEMA declaration, meeting with the municipalities, getting their costs, and we are in the process of gathering all that information together to be able to go ahead and release those funds to those counties and municipalities. Okay. And it's related to specific costs that they incur.
So all those local municipality emergency relief funds that were brought in from 14 to 15 were used in that storm?
Will be used.
Will be used in
yes,
that storm. Okay, I appreciate that. Your other waiver was for your GGO line items pulling from 2012 fiscal year and 2014 fiscal year. Your 2012 waiver request to support extraordinary requests during an emergency or event that does not elevate to the level of the state or federally declared disaster. This funding will provide some assurance that there is a fiscal capability to manage and respond to a specific emergency incident where alternative funding is available. Included in that request would be unknown amount of dollars allocated towards expenses for PEMA's new headquarters facility, which do not meet the requirements of the capital project facility funds received or are in direct support of PEMA and the transition to the new facility, and $140,000 to facilitate creating a, quote, statewide plan for domesticated animals, end quote. Can you break down those GGO allocations for your 2012 waiver between those 3 requests?
Yeah, I want to have to get really back to you specifically on that, sir, because that was obviously before my time, but we'll go ahead and get back to that.
When did you start?
Beginning of this past year, in January of 2015.
15, okay. This request came in June 29th, 2015.
Okay, but you're referring to 2012 funds?
Well, 2012 funds that were expended in 2015.
Okay. Well, what I do know for sure is obviously what we're doing in the new. I'm sorry. Hang on one second.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, so we have They're not contracts, okay, first of all. And again, we're waiting actually for the 15-16 budget to be passed because they were the add-ons. The money for the new building was for EOC operations, and the number in relationship to the animal is for the Pennsylvania State Animal Rescue Team, PSART. Again, that money has not been released again because of waiting for the 15-16 passing.
So all that money from the 2012 line item is still available?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
None of it was spent?
I'm
None
sorry?
of it was spent? None of it was spent, and you're waiting for the...
That's correct. We're
was
waiting
your-
for the passage of the 15 budget.
Was your GGO line item for the 15-16 budget approved or vetoed by the governor?
The line item itself was approved.
Approved.
Yes, sir.
So,
But these add-ons were not. That's what you're referring to. I'm
Okay.
talking about the GGO fund specifically for
Okay.
operations.
okay. And your 2014 GGO waiver request, that was for, you waived all the commitments and available funds of the funds. The funds are being requested to be waived to support extraordinary requests during an emergency or event that does not elevate to the level of state or federally declared disaster. And then $100,000 of it is to be used for the PEMA Special Deployment and Response Office. This funding will be utilized to support maintenance and operational costs of the warehouses and inventory of state-owned equipment for emergency situations. Is that the same where that money was not expended as of yet?
Has not been spent. No, sir.
Okay, so all that money is currently available in prior year's lapses. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.